Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Wednesday that she and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney had agreed to strengthen trade collaboration.
And as countries seek other export markets, that's going to reduce the supply to U.S. markets.
In 2025, the United States, the global leader in corn production and a historically unrivaled exporter, is grappling with an extraordinary crisis in its agricultural industry, particularly within the corn trade. Last year, over $5 billion in U.S. corn remained unsold, despite the nation's status as the world's top corn producer. The problem isn't the quality of the crop. U.S. corn continues to be impeccable, free from pests or spoilage. Instead, the designation product of the United States has turned into a drawback, converting a once celebrated emblem of farming prowess into a subtle deal breaker. At ports in Shanghai, Rotterdam, and Jeddah, containers of vibrant American corn sit idle, overlooked not because of their quality, but due to their country of origin. This quiet dismissal, marked by stalled paperwork, ignored inquiries, and abandoned contracts, reflects a significant shift in global trade patterns, fueled by geopolitical friction, competition from Brazil and Canada, and eroding confidence in U.S. dependability. The U.S. corn sector, especially in states like Iowa, Nebraska, and Illinois, has long served as a backbone of global food supply chains, supporting ethanol production in Europe and nourishing millions in Asia and beyond. Yet, the international market is gradually turning away from American corn. Key buyers, including China, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, Canada, the European Union, and Taiwan, once steadfast partners, are now looking elsewhere. The reasons are complex, but revolve around perception, politics, and pragmatism. Years of U.S. tariffs, trade disputes, and erratic policy changes have made global buyers cautious about depending on American grain. The threat of abrupt sanctions or trade conflicts has driven importers toward more stable alternatives, even if the product itself isn't better. Brazil has emerged as a powerful rival, leveraging a record-setting corn harvest of 130 million tons, adjusted upward by 4 million tons in the May 2025 World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimates report. This subtle revision, tucked away in a standard government document, triggered a major shift in global trade dynamics. Brazil's corn is not only more affordable, but also carries less political weight. Nations like Egypt, South Korea, and Vietnam, frustrated by U.S. trade unpredictability, have discreetly shifted contracts to Brazilian suppliers. Brazil's secondary corn harvest, combined with efficient logistics and modernized supply chains, has positioned it as a dependable alternative. Unlike the U.S., Brazil has prioritized upgrading its export infrastructure, ensuring compliance with strict import standards and providing buyers with the consistency that American exporters struggle to deliver. Canada is also capturing a growing share of the market, stepping into the gap left by the U.S. with a steady, understated approach. Henry Vanum, a 30-year veteran corn farmer in Ontario, stated, "We grow a high-quality product here in Canada. It's sustainable, safe, and reliable." Provinces like Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan have enhanced their grain terminals with automated inspection tools and blockchain-based tracking, offering buyers in Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico complete transparency from planting to delivery. Canada's lack of political turbulence, no unexpected embargoes or tariff disputes, makes it an appealing partner. For example, Manitoba's grain terminals now provide real-time data on seed types, spraying schedules, and storage conditions, accessible via mobile devices. This level of traceability, which remains inconsistent in the U.S., gives Canada a competitive advantage. With Quebec expanding its terminals to accommodate new European orders and Manitoba securing deals in the Middle East, the impact on U.S. farmers is both financially and emotionally crushing. In Iowa, the epicenter of U.S. agriculture, corn exports have plummeted by 42% in 2025. Grain silos are overflowing with last year's unsold corn, forcing farmers to seek storage extensions or forego planting seasons entirely. Ethanol plants are cutting back, with some halting production lines, while cooperatives face layoffs and mounting financial losses. Farmers, many from multi-generational farming families, are tapping into retirement funds or defaulting on loans. In Nebraska, where corn exports have dropped by 47%, warehouses in towns like Kearney and Hastings are packed with spoiling grain, and cooperatives are selling at a loss to free up space. One Nebraska farmer, Dan Wesley, recounted how a shipment of 18,000 tons of premium corn was rejected in Shanghai for unclear origin, a vague reason hiding deeper geopolitical concerns. Illinois, once the logistical hub of U.S. grain exports, is also struggling. Its prime location along the Mississippi River, with access to railroads and deep water ports, made it a key player in the global corn trade. Now, warehouses in places like Cairo are at full capacity, conveyor belts are still, and the infrastructure that once moved corn worldwide is faltering. Buyers are bypassing Illinois for Canadian suppliers who provide faster documentation, digital systems, and consistent pricing. The ripple effects are hitting rural economies hard. Equipment suppliers, trucking firms, and even local businesses like diners are suffering as the flow of agricultural commerce slows. This crisis stems not from the corn itself, but from issues of trust and reputation. American cooperatives rely on inconsistent record-keeping, which struggles to meet importers' demands for transparency. Meanwhile, political risks, tariffs, trade wars, and policy unpredictability have undermined confidence in the U.S. as a reliable supplier. Buyers seek certainty, and nations like Canada and Brazil provide it, offering not just corn but assurance. The human impact is profound. In Iowa, farmers like one elderly man near Dyersville stand beside barns filled with unsold corn, their voices heavy with fatigue rather than frustration. Families are mortgaging ancestral land, taking second jobs, or facing foreclosure. The community systems that once supported them, cooperatives, lenders, and processors, are shrinking, leaving rural America in quiet despair. The ethanol industry, a major driver of corn demand, is slowing, and the broader agricultural economy is stalling. As one Iowa Corn Growers Association leader put it, the challenge isn't just logistical. It's a systemic breakdown of the networks that made American corn dominant. The shift to Brazil and Canada happened quietly, without fanfare. There were no bans or World Trade Organization rulings, just a gradual pivot. Egypt canceled orders, South Korea delayed payments, and Vietnam rerouted shipments, all without explanation. This lack of communication deepens the frustration for farmers who have done everything right, yet are still losing markets. The global grain trade is redirecting, with new contracts favoring Brazilian and Canadian suppliers who offer lower risk and superior systems. Brazil's ability to secure multi-year agreements and Canada's transparent export processes have made them the go-to choice for importers wary of U.S. unpredictability. To address this crisis, the U.S. must tackle both practical and perceptual challenges. Investing in modernized export systems, such as unified databases and blockchain tracking, could help meet importers' transparency demands. Standardizing record-keeping across cooperatives and upgrading port logistics would make American corn more competitive. Diplomatically, stabilizing trade relationships by reducing tariffs and promoting predictable policies is essential. The U.S. cannot control Brazil's harvests or Canada's innovations, but it can rebuild trust by addressing the political risks that have pushed buyers away. For American farmers, the future is uncertain. The emotional toll of watching a legacy unravel is as significant as the financial one. In Iowa, Nebraska, and Illinois, communities built on corn are confronting a new reality. The world has moved on, and it did so silently. The quiet of empty docks and unanswered emails serves as a stark reminder that in global trade, reputation is everything. Until the U.S. can restore its image as a dependable partner, its corn will remain stranded, a casualty of a world that no longer trusts the label product of the United States.